Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, January the 14th. We are here to look at the new releases that are published this week in crime fiction and thrillers, the darker side of mystery. Hope you're having a good day. Elena says, "Good morning, PK. How you doing?" She says, "I am good." Elijah says, "Good morning." Good morning, Elijah. All right. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And on Friday, there will be a morning show to look at the rest of the books that we haven't gotten to. And then, of course, the 5-hour sprinting marathon on Saturday, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Oh, my glasses are dirty. Bitter Fall by Bruce Robert Coffin, second in the Detective Justice series. On a moonless stretch of backcountry road, Detective Brock Justice stares down at a crime scene that refuses to play by the rules. A woman lies dead, the apparent victim of a lethal roadside crash, until a stab wound is found hidden beneath her clothing. 2 causes of death, 0 easy answers. Reunited with his partner, Detective Chloe Wright, Justice begins pulling at threads too many people want left alone. The victim had secrets, the kind worth killing for, and each suspect carries enough baggage to sink a body in Moosehead Lake. An ex-boyfriend with a violent past, a married fitness trainer with too much to lose, a combat veteran living off the grid, haunted by ghosts of his own. As golden leaves turn blood red against the pewter skies, Justice is fighting more than just a killer. The fallout from testifying against a fellow trooper clings to him like a bad debt, and someone inside the department is making sure he pays for it. Then a game warden's trail camera captures something deep in the woods, but it isn't just a clue, it's a warning. Says it's for fans of Craig Johnson's Longmire and CJ Box's Joe Pickett. Both very good series. Dark Rooms by Rebecca Hannigan. On the night of the summer solstice in 1999, 9-year-old Roisin O'Halloran marched into the Hanging Woods, the mysterious copse that had inspired fear in decades of children in the small Irish town of Banachilduff. She was never seen again. 20 years later, 2 women are drawn together to discover the truth of what happened to Roisin. Roisin's older sister, Dee Dee, a rookie cop who's barely hanging on to the appearance of keeping it all together, and Roisin's childhood best friend, Caitlin, a petty criminal who was the last person to see the young girl before she disappeared, now returned to her hometown after her mother's death. Reluctantly brought together after decades of mistrust, Caitlin and Dee Dee must reckon with their shadowy pasts, the monsters that still haunt them, and the role they each may have played in Roisin's disappearance. With old wounds made fresh, the unresolved events of that summer years ago rise to the surface, and the truth threatens to reshape the small town that would prefer the past remain buried. The siren of the Hanging Woods rings out once more. After all, nothing can stay hidden forever. Well, there's a striking cover. Lena says, just finished reading Elfie, A Wicked Childhood, and it was great. Yay! Congratulations! Woo! Good job. Divine Ruin by Margot Duahi. Third in the Sister Holiday Mysteries. It is a steamy, restless end of the school year in New Orleans. Sister Holiday is finishing her music classes and preparing for her permanent vow ceremony, a pivotal moment in her journey of faith. But when one of her favorite students is found dead of a fentanyl overdose, Sister Holiday and her partner in PI, Magnolia Reveau, are determined to track down the drug dealers. As students continue to fall prey to this sinister drug, Sister Holiday becomes more desperate to stop the epidemic while facing her own past with addiction, a demon that is never too far. Inside Man by John McMahon, second in the Head Cases series. I have Head Cases, I haven't read it yet. But this is second in that series. FBI agent Gardner Camden is an analytical genius with an affinity for puzzles. He and his squad of brilliant yet quirky agents make up the Patterns and Recognition PAR unit, the FBI's hidden edge, brought in for cases that no one else can solve. PAR's latest case involves a militia group stockpiling weapons. When their confidential informant in the case is killed, it quickly becomes clear that the militia did not kill him. As the squad looks into the evidence surrounding his murder, an unidentified man is caught on camera with their informant. This mystery man's picture is connected to another case at the FBI, an unsolved series of murdered women buried in the ground in North Florida. Could they have uncovered a serial killer? And if so, what is his connection to their CI? As PAR juggles an investigation into both the dead woman and the militia, they enroll a new informant, only to find the case escalating in dangerous ways. How will PAR handle a case that increasingly looks like a terrorist plot? And in the serial case with no puzzles or witnesses and few leads, how will a group set up to decode riddles be successful? End of row 1. I just said, I think I told you guys, but I got a book deal and I'm working on my first novel for them. That is fantastic. You did mention that. That is so exciting. Oops. This is going to be an adventure for you for sure. It Should Have Been You by Andrea Mara. You press send and your message disappears, full of secrets about your neighbors. It's meant for your sister, but it doesn't reach her. It goes to the entire local community WhatsApp group instead. As rumor spreads like wildfire through the picture-perfect neighborhood, you convince yourself that people will move on, that this will quickly be forgotten, but then you receive the first death threat. The next day, a woman has been murdered, and what's even more chilling is that she had the same address as you, 26 Oak Park, but in a different part of town. Did the killer get the wrong house? It won't be long before you find out. ... Murder Your Darlings by Jenna Blum. Known for such blah blah blah. Simone Sam Vetiver is a mid-career novelist finishing a lukewarm publicity tour while facing a deadline for a new book on which she's totally blocked. Recently divorced, Sam is worrying where her life is going when she receives glowing fan mail from stratospherically successful author William Corwin, renowned for his female-centric novels. When William and Sam meet and his literary sympathy is as intense as their chemistry, both writers think they've found the one. But as in their own novels, things between Sam and William are not what they seem. William has multiple stalkers, including a scarily persistent one named the Rabbit. He lives on a remote Maine island where his writer life resembles The Shining. And when writers turn up dead, including from the Darling support group William runs, Sam has to ask, is it the Rabbit, William's #1 stalker? Another woman scorned? Can William be everything he seems? Prairie Panic by Holly Peterson, second in the Rowan Campbell thrillers. Graduate student Rowan Campbell is working her second summer as a Pathways Program Ranger for the Tallgrass Prairie National Preserve in Kansas when her world is flipped upside down. A gruesome attack on the bison herd at the preserve has been discovered. The kill site shows telltale signs of a big cat predation, but could a rogue mountain lion passing through the region really be the cause of all the carnage? Rowan starts to have her doubts when one of her fellow team members goes missing, and a local game warden is less than forthcoming about what he knows. As Rowan uncovers evidence of strange lights spotted around the preserve late at night, the suspiciously large cat tracks may be leading to a more sinister conspiracy terrorizing the Flint Hill Plains of Kansas. I forgot to click on it. We'll give it its moment while I take a gulp of coffee. Now this one has an intriguing cover. And Elijah's, maybe it'll be on your list one day? Yeah, maybe. The Bookbinder's Secret by A.D. Bell. Lillian Lily Delaney, apprentice to a master bookbinder in Oxford in 1901, chafes at the confines of her life. She is trapped between the oppressiveness of her father's failing bookshop and still being an apprentice in a man's profession. But when she's given a burned book during a visit to a collector, she finds hidden beneath the binding a 50-year-old letter speaking of love, fortune, and murder. Lily is pulled into the mystery of the young lovers, a story of forbidden love, and discovers there are more books and more hidden pages telling their story. Lillian becomes obsessed with the story, but she is not the only one looking for the remaining books, and what began as a diverting intrigue quickly becomes a very dangerous pursuit. Lily's search leads her from the eccentric booksellers of London to the private libraries of unscrupulous collectors and the dusty archives of society papers deep into the heart of the mystery. But with sinister forces closing in, willing to do anything for the books, Lillian's world begins to fall apart, as she must decide if uncovering the truth is worth the risk to her own life. End of that row. The Briars by Sarah Crouch. I wonder if she's related to Blake. Desperate to escape a relationship gone bad, Annie Heston flees north to accept a job as a game warden in Lake Lumen, a picturesque town in the mountains of the Pacific Northwest. A cougar has been spotted in the area, and as Annie warns the community of the threat, she quickly discovers that not everyone in the tight-knit town is welcoming of outsiders, except for Daniel Barella, a reclusive carpenter who lives in the shadow of the mountain. They form an instant bond, though Annie soon comes to realize there is more to his past than meets the eye. When the body of a young woman is found in the briars that border Daniel's property, the peace Annie has found in Lake Lumen shatters. As she assists the local sheriff with investigation, Annie must rely on her wilderness training and intuition to find a murderer hiding in plain sight. Yeah, Elijah will have to let us know when it's out there available. The Cyclist by Tim Sullivan. Second of 8? How is this possible? Hold the phone. Oh. I think these are republishings. No, they're all being out in the future. Well, I guess we will treat it as a new publication. Second in the George Cross mysteries. D.S. George Cross has unique and unmatchable talents. He uses a combination of logic, determination, and exacting precision to get answers where others have failed for families who have long given up hope. So when a ravaged body is found in a local demolition site, it's up to Cross to piece together the truth from whatever fragments he can find. From the faint tan lines and strange scars on the victim's forearms, Cross meticulously unravels the young man's life, delving into the world of amateur cycling, an illicit supply of performance-enhancing drugs, jealousy, ambition, and a family tearing itself apart. Cross's relentless pursuit of the truth and eccentric methods earn him few friends. But just as the police seem to be nearing a conclusion, he doubles back. Could it be the biggest mistake of his career? The X by Shalini Boland. Shalini. Willow McAllister is desperate to start over. Quiet town, blank slate, no attachments. When she meets her friendly new neighbor, Priya, it feels like a lifeline, the start of something good. And then there's Gabe, charming, funny, easy to talk to. Maybe she's allowed a little happiness. Maybe she can trust again. But Willow's instincts have been wrong before. And when she discovers that Gabe and Priya share a past, The cracks start to show. Willow can't help wondering if Priya's arrival next door really was by chance, because coincidences like this, they don't feel like coincidences at all. Is she imagining the tension between them, or ignoring something she shouldn't? Someone is lying, and Willow can't afford to get it wrong again. But has something happened? It doesn't say anything has happened. Just meeting people. Oh, this says this book is not available to purchase in our country. All right. Well, let's move on then. End of row of that row. The Lodge by Paul Finch. You've been dreaming of an unforgettable weekend escape, and Black Tam Lodge seems to offer everything. A magnificent Gothic mansion with towering turrets nestled in the misty Lancaster Hills. Expecting elegant dinners, vintage wines, and a screening of a legendary lost film in the private cinema, it seems perfect. Until night falls and a thick fog isolates you from the world. Your phones go missing, guests start vanishing, and then you find the body. Someone, it seems, fell from the roof, but you can't help wondering if he was pushed. Totally cut off, you cannot leave or call for help. You don't know these people, but you need to decide who you can trust soon, because someone is going to be next. Will it be you? I don't like second person. You are this, you are that. The Resident Murder by Jesse Croft, first in the Resident Thriller series. True crime enthusiast Dr. Kyle Saunders is 2 years into an arduous medical training program in New York City, which leaves her with little time for romance until she meets Dr. Blake Weathers, a fellow resident with an intense passion for neurosurgery, devilishly good looks, and irresistible charm. Blake is completely intoxicating, yet Kylie can't shake the unsettling feeling that the enigmatic drinking game surgeon is hiding something. After sending Kylie mixed messages following several promising dates, she reluctantly calls things off with Blake and focuses on meeting someone through the Connections app. But when a friend and colleague is brutally murdered and Kylie discovers a secret that links Blake to the crime, her reservations about him intensify. As she delves further into the mystery surrounding the murder while attempting to turn her love life around, how about being a resident? Kylie soon learns that the Manhattan dating scene is far deadlier than she could have imagined. When the police suspect the killer used connections to lure the victim, Kylie's search for answers reveals a terrifying truth, that they're about to take a swipe at her next. How about finishing your residency? Oy. When We Were Evil. Are you ready to confess your sins? Is the subtitle. Weird. Author is S.B. Caves. They locked her up. Now they want her story. At 15, Ruby Wilcox was involved in the Vincent Street incident, one of the most horrific murders in British history. Despite protesting her innocence and claiming that someone else was responsible, she was convicted. 2 decades later, after being released, Ruby has done everything she can to move on and create a new life. But that all threatens to crumble once she learns that a streaming service is creating a series about the murders and her alleged role in them. When Ruby is given the opportunity to share her version of events, she knows that it's now or never. The only question is, has the world made up its mind about her, or will people believe her story? The consequences of speaking out might cost her more than she thinks, because Ruby wasn't the only person on Vincent Street that night. ... And Irina Shapiro is venturing into the thriller land. She's a prolific author in historical mysteries, has a couple series, and a contemporary one. She is a prolific author, but I enjoy her books. This is called The Invite. 3 years ago, Lexi destroyed their friendship group with a single unforgivable act. Now she's bringing them all back together, and someone's going to pay. On a cold October night, a group of old college friends arrive at a fog-shrouded lake house, summoned by a curious email that reads more like a threat than an invitation, from the woman no one has spoken to for 3 years. There's the cynical best friend, the anguished fiancé, the careless player, the lost follower, the quiet survivor, each with a secret they'd kill to protect. But as soon as they gather, old resentments start to bubble up and tensions are running high by the time the friends finally stumble to bed. And the next morning, there's a body floating in the dark water. A dark, deadly story that will consume you until the final perfect twist, etc., etc. Sounds like a lot of very similar books, but I guess she had to dip her toes in and do her version. That is it. We got through them all. Huzzah! Alrighty. Well, we will have a morning show on Friday to look at the rest of the cozy mysteries and anything else that captures my attention or didn't make it in the first round of looking. Sometimes they add books later. So I check again, always. All right, again, I don't have any sprints tonight. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for 2 hours, and after that it'll be on Saturday at 3 p.m. And that's it for this week. This week's schedule. Hope you are having a good Wednesday. Thank you much for watching. Thank you if you're watching it later. Appreciate it. We are small but mighty. If you want to invite a friend, let people know about it, we'd like to grow. We are getting close to 500. So if you know people who would like to know what books are out there in the world of crime fiction, either fluffy or dark and edgy, or just come read during the sprints, we'd appreciate it. Alrighty, be safe, read good books, and as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Om nom nom. Have a good night and God bless. Good night. Have a good day and God bless. Yeah, I'd like to go back to bed. That would be nice.